So for those who don't know, Sam a couple years ago tried to fleece money out of people for a kid that she never really truly known, and tried to pass him off as her own kid. And unfortunately, this kid lost his life at a very young age, in the preteens. But Arabia and Savage and MrsAtx are going to explain how this came about.
Leaving that person out of it?
I met Julian's mom when I was in South Bend. I've actually met her a couple different times. I do not know her son.
Mm-hmm.
Her son had already passed when I became friends with her. Her son had already passed when she became friends with the person that I met her through.
Right.
So what I know about her son is that her son and someone's daughter dated off and on for a period of about 14 months. 3 months when that relationship ended and they never got back together. He still remained in the South Bend area.
And for context, Arabia is not going to refer to Sam by her name because Sam went and got a protection order against Arabia by lying to the cops and telling them that they were lovers. So, for context, when Arabia does not mention Sam's name, that's for that reason.
There was no hanging out or anything among them. I mean, yeah, they talked on the phone. They were 13 and 14-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
3 months after they had not been involved or any type of dating, he then moved away where he lived in another state for 4 months with his mama and his family, where he had always lived with them. And he got into the car accident and 2 people were killed in the accident. 1 person lived. And so there was a total of 22 months from the time this girl started dating this guy until the day he died that they knew each other. You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
In that 22 months, there was about 7 months at the end of this child's life that they did not date. They did not even see each other. So if you shave that off of the 22 months that they actually were involved on and off.
He moved with his mama to another state.
Right.
Well, he lived in South Bend with his mama.
Oh.
And then they moved?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They moved to another state the last 4 to 5 months of his life.
Okay.
But before they moved, there was 2 or 3 months where there was no hanging out, no seeing him or anything, because he wasn't dating the same little girl that he was dating at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So to keep that in context, Julian, the poor kid that passed away untimely, and Sam's daughter were not seeing each other for 7 months before he passed. And why would Sam claim somebody else's child? It brings me back to this. Except to grift on them. Sam barely knew that kid, but they're going to get to that. But her daughter and Julian did not date for 7 months before this kid got in this accident that ended up taking his life.
So 22 months total is what the actual knowing this child was. 22 months. If you shave off the last 7 or 8 months of his life where there was actually no direct physical in-person, I see you eye to eye type, contact with him, it was strictly just all over the phone, text messages, school, whatever, then that leaves about 13 to 14 months that on and off that this woman's son dated her daughter.
So
after that first 13, 14 months, they never dated again, and he only lived about 9 months after that.
Right.
So the total time of actual interaction with this child was 15 months on and off. And most of the interaction was between him and the girl he was dating, not him, the girl he was dating, and her mother. So And what I know about his mother is that she had a very hard time dealing with his death, and that they decided to relocate back here because this is where, back to Indiana, as South Bend area, because that is where he went to school. That's where all his friends were. That's where her whole family was. Right. So when they came back here, they decided to stay here instead of returning back there without him. And that is the point that his mother actually met his girlfriend's mother. I mean, they knew each other from being dropped off at, each other's houses and stuff like that. But the friendship, there was never even a 10-minute conversation between Jessica and his girlfriend's mother until after he died. So what I know is that Jessica had a hard time dealing with the death of her child. And yes, she was put on anxiety. Yeah, I mean, she was put on anxiety pills, and she wasn't herself for a few years.
Well,
and during the time she wasn't herself, she was befriended and taken advantage of. And her son's only been dead 6 years. That's it.
Can we say whether or not, Arabia, that due to the car wreck that happened, and there was probably a lawsuit and a big amount of money settlement coming through? Don't you think that had something to do with it also?
I think it did in the ongoing of, keeping this woman around as a friend. But initially, in the very beginning, no, because nobody knew that there was going to be any type, nobody knew that. But once that was uncovered and found out, it came with benefit.
Right.
So, but the 6 years that his mother and his ex-girlfriend's mother were friends, that friendship was developed after that child's death. And she didn't even know her prior to her son being killed.
And that was Samantha's opening to grift. And yes, I'm using Judge's picture as a female because HRH made this. I'm like, perfect, just perfect. But anyways, Sam saw her opening to grift even more, not only on the child's death, but to grift even more on the mother that's still mourning her child. Imagine that. How sick a person must be to look at everybody as a dollar sign.
Wow.
I'm gonna read Julian's mother's comment that was 6 days ago, which when she saw this video, it's on the video that we just watched where Sam claimed that was her son. And she said, "I'm not sure what this is all about, but let me clear something up that has me sick to my stomach. Julian David Parmalee is my son, born January the 23rd, 2000, and died in a car accident in St. Paul, North Carolina on November the 28th, 2014. He was the boyfriend of Sam's daughter for a year or two. She did not raise my child at any point in his short 14 years of life. Everyone who knew him loved him, and he was a wonderful young man. It sickens me to know that she has collected money from you in his name, and that she has been claiming him as her own child." So that was the thing that she left. And then I guess we've been seeing that she popped out of nowhere and started, communicating with this woman that we're talking about, Telfer. And she is hot to trot because she's pissed off. Now, why she decided to put all that on Twitter today, talking about me, going through all that, nobody had talked about that boy until you brought it all up. You are exploiting him. And I do not understand why you went that far as to put all those tweets out tying me to him. It's the same thing that you have done time and time again, trying to use him for attention. You loved the way that the attention that you got when you claimed this. He had a mother. It was not you.
Wow. I didn't never read her comment. I never heard it until right then. Oh my God.
That's what she left. And then now all of a sudden she has this whole theory that it's some big hit job that involves me.
Yeah.
Now the thing the last thing about the recovery thing where she was like, hey, miss, whatever, recovery, whatever, this woman has problems. No, the hell I don't. No, the hell I don't.
I don't know her
First
from
of all,
can of paint.
calling her a junkie, regardless of her situation. Randy, where are you? Wendy, where are you?
Wasn't that like a big thing?
Yep. You even commented on it saying, oh, wow, or whatever. You are okay with her dragging the hell out of an addict if she was?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's okay with you?
That went through something tragic.
Yep. You're okay with dragging the hell. This is why. Because they are so afraid that Yaba and Yaba mainly, but Sam will turn against them and go for them, that they're willing to overlook anything.
Oh yeah, at this point they are. This point they are. But I feel so bad for that lady. I don't even know her, but I feel so bad. I'd be pissed if I knew somebody was out there claiming my kid for pity on YouTube, being a victim on YouTube. I would be freaking livid.
I also heard that at his memorial service, her daughter was making out with another guy outside the funeral home. So stop. But I cannot believe Randy, Wendy, Diane, y'all are so, if anybody mentions Diane's relative that had those issues or makes any comments about that, then she goes absolutely apeshit. Why?
And again, tell me again, what will make an individual that is sane would think it's a good idea to grift on a child that they never knew and go as far as getting that child tattooed on them? Oh, no, Samantha wasn't done yet. And then she proceeded to attempt to grift after the mother was still mourning her child. So make it make sense. What same person would do that? Because to me, this shit does not make any sense. To me, Sam is a psychopath in my book. She's a straight up psychopath. That's all I have for this video, and I will catch you guys on the next one, and later.